There was such a dichotomy between darkness and light, and my house was so dark. Something had to happen that would stop everything in my life. Every ounce of rage and anger and the pain culminated. I had a grand mal seizure. All your limbs shoot straight out and then collapse. And then you turn blue and you're dead. That's when the Lord just snatched me. My first stepdad, I really think he was demonically possessed. He did everything from forcing me to eat human waste to just about anything you can imagine. A specific time, my family was screaming for me to come upstairs, like something was wrong, and so I'm like, it's my family, I've got to run. So I go to run up the stairs as fast as I can, but that went against the rule in the house, was no running up the stairs. And so there's a rule, and if you violate the rule, then death. I was a little kid, I'm a big dude now, but I was little. I went to run up the stairs and I saw him, and he just threw me back against the wall, and he just pretty much kicked me senseless until I lost all bodily functions and just cried my brains out. That just added to the level of hatred that I had. From a young age, I knew that there is God, there is Jesus. I also knew, according to my church, that I was only allowed to read one translation and I had to do these certain things. I just saw religiosity in its negative sense. I couldn't rationalize what they were saying and how I was supposed to live on those, 2-hour Sundays with what I saw outside of that church. And there was such a dichotomy between darkness and light, and my house was so dark, I just couldn't rationalize how that could be. I didn't have the kind of faith that one would say usually marks the Christian life. When I was in high school, I had this girlfriend that was a total atheist. I thought, how do I get her to think the way that I'm thinking, which was sort of like Christianese-ish, almost more like a Gnostic in a sense. I go to share that with her, and I'm excited, and then she just said she was done, walked away. Every ounce of rage and anger and the pain culminated, and there was a metal pole near me, and I just clenched my teeth and closed my eyes and punched that sucker as hard as I could. When I was hyperventilating on a hospital bed, my eyes swollen shut, and I had nothing left, nothing left to give. That's when the Lord just snatched me. I just knew that there was something more, and that kind of aha kind of moment was that's it. I'm so thankful, because I had a very physical application of what brokenness looked like. And then finally seeing the Father, seeing God, it was anything He has for me, that's what I want. It's like a Chinese buffet on a Sunday afternoon. I'm going in, I'm not leaving. And that gave me a kind of peace that I'd never known. There was a group that needed help, that wanted to plug kids into church. So I started working with middle schoolers, and they are mildly psychotic, and I love it, and it's amazing, and it's tough, but it's good. And it was just an opportunity to fulfill what I think the Lord was doing and calling me into. Slowly, the ministry kept becoming more and more important, and then my beautiful bride, Kelsey, became less and less important, less and less. And it turned into more where I was sacrificing my marriage on the altar of ministry. And that's when things got bad in our marriage. My pastor looked at me and he said, "Cameron, will you step away from ministry for a while to work on your marriage. And then 10 days later, lights out for me. I had a grand mal seizure for about 7 minutes, and then my body did it's called breathe your last, and all your limbs shoot straight out and then collapse, and then you turn blue and you're dead. So code blue, dead, no oxygen, between 9 and 16 minutes. It was just a seizure that never stopped, and then my body just died. They'd cut my shirt off, their chest compressions, mouth to mouth, the whole nine. They had tried zapping me with a defib pack, zapped me with that, and they said they were able to work with the pulse that they had, that they rushed me to the hospital. It was all a freak out show. The odds were that I wouldn't wake up. They were preparing Kelsey for the vegetation aspect. Your husband may never wake up, or his heart might get going medically, but his brain is fried. But the physician over all physicians has the ability to say, nah, and make something else happen. And the Lord worked a mighty miracle and brought me out of that. I'm literally dead. Now my body is alive. There's this random nurse that walks in 6 days later, grabs the tube out of my throat, and my wife, Kelsey, said that he looked at her and said, it's time for Cameron to wake up. She has no idea who this is. No one knows who it is. He grabs the tube, rips it out of my throat, yells Cameron, tells me it's time to wake up, and leaves. My eyes are closed, I'm in a coma, and all of a sudden, I open my eyes, and my wife is seated right here. The sun was coming in behind her. She was smiling, beaming smile. It took a while for my brain to really come to grips with what was happening. My neurologist cannot rationalize how my heart stuff and brain stuff he cannot. He's a great doctor, but all the intelligence in the world will not save you, and he cannot rationalize it. I believe that the Lord in his sovereignty knows exactly what is necessary for his kids to do the things that he wants them to do. And I think that he cares about our marriage. Without the heart stuff that happened, I don't think we would have survived a whole lot longer. And what was necessary was something dramatic. Maybe it's because I'm a dramatic guy, I don't know. But something had to happen that would stop everything in my life. Jesus died, and the difference is that he rose himself from the dead. We will be risen by him. If 10 out of 10 people die, and I know that, then I have to do something with that knowledge, right? I try to use the platforms that I have to find a creative way to share. And it's difficult because there are some people that I won't be able to share in the direct way that I want to. But it's also sweet how the Lord sometimes gives you someone that literally, he's like, for me, Cameron, here, share. And those are sweet opportunities. So I guess I'm more aware now, and I want to look for those opportunities. There is no God but God alone, and you need to come to that. And if you do believe that, man, there is a plethora of joy and opportunity, and there's solace, and there's excitement. There's the entire array of human emotion and experience ready for you if you will just submit to the Lord, follow the Lord, walk with the Lord, experience God. When you have the love relationship with the maker of the universe, it's opened. We're going for it. If you can just tell someone that Jesus loves them, if you can just show that to them and live it out, man, there's like radical and revolutionary stuff that can come.